Alright guys, welcome to this page of the notes, and what we're going to do now is we're going to do a couple of example problems where we have to use the law of cosines. Now remember, I told you that I would show you how to adapt every problem to fit this particular version of the law of cosines. C squared is equal to a squared plus b squared minus 2ab multiplied by the cosine of angle C. Alright, so first, the problem that I've been given. Please notice that I've been given angle B. They're asking you to find angle B, which means that you should, if I go back to that previous page where we had our law of cosines, right, I should be using this one because I was given angle B and I would be solving for B. And again, I don't think it's too terribly tricky. These guys are all really pretty similar, and you could use the correct formula, or watch this. We're going to rename them. I will call this angle C, which would make this side C. In which case, angle A, side A, that's fine, no problem. I'll simply change this one to B, making this over here side B, and by simply just relabeling the triangle, now I know the measure of angle C, and I'm being asked to find side C, and this guy will apply. That's it, right? So you're going to either use the three formulas the way that you're probably intended to do so, and you can memorize them, or if your teacher gives you all three formulas, okay, fine, based on the information that you're given, angle B, you're solving for B, you would use that particular formula for Pythagorean theorem. Or just relabel the triangle, and then all you got to do is know this one. Here's how it works. Plug and chug. I'm trying to solve for C. So C squared is equal to, what is A? Here's angle A, that means A is 7. So it'll be 7 squared plus B squared. There's angle B, that makes this side B. So 5 squared minus 2 times A, which was 7, B, which was 5, multiplied by the cosine of 100 degrees, because I'm taking the cosine of angle C, and there is angle C. Couple of quick things here. First, this is all multiplication. 2 times 7 times 5 times cosine of 100. Order of multiplication does not matter. You can multiply these guys in any order that you want to. What you want to make sure of, though, this is a minus sign. So please be very, very careful of your signs. Here we go. C squared. 7 squared is 49. 5 squared is 25. Then we're going to subtract. Now, it's a calculator problem. You will do cosine of 100. Careful, you're going to get a negative number. Cosine of 100 degrees is actually negative, and that's really, really important. But anyway, it's a negative number, so you get cosine of 100. It'll be a negative number, multiplied by 5, multiplied by 7, multiplied by 2, and you wind up with, you know what? Actually, here, I didn't even do it. 1 second. Cosine 100 multiplied by times 5 times 7 times 2 minus 12 point... here, let me write out the whole thing. So you wind up with a minus 12.155372444. Awesome, great, so there we go. It is very important, actually, this is a good time to talk about. It is very, very important that you do not round these numbers. Please do not round these numbers. You will wait until the end to round. If we round every time we get a decimal, what you're going to wind up with at the end is a rounding error. Your answer will be off. It may not be off by much, but it will be off. And that's because of rounding errors. You just keep propagating these rounding errors through the problem. So keep all decimals, don't lose any decimal places, don't round until you get to the end. Anyway, here's the point, negative of a negative. It is very, very important that you are careful of your signs. Minus times a minus is going to be a positive. I'm going to add those guys together. So 49 plus 25 plus 12.155372444. Fantastic. C squared is going to be equal to 86. Again, do not lose any of those decimals. It is really, really important that you do not round until the end. Now, how do I get the C by itself? You bet. Take a square root of both sides. We wind up with C is equal to 9.28. So the length of side C, 9.28. And I'm not given any units, so my number won't have any units either. Okay guys, that was really pretty simple. That's the way the law of cosines works. So let's go ahead and do another one. Here we go. Law of cosines. Now again, in this case, please notice that you've been given side, side, side. I know all three sides. Law of sines won't help you, right? In order to do the law of sines, you got to know something about the angles, and I don't know anything about the angles, so side, side, side is one of the cases where the law of cosines is the only way that you're going to be able to solve this problem, and so we'll go ahead and set up the law of cosines. Here we go. Remember, we're going to use that formula, the same one every time, so that I don't have to remember anything different. C squared equals A squared plus B squared minus 2AB times the cosine of angle C. All right, fantastic. Now I start plugging in what I know. So here we go. What is the length of side C? There's angle C, so side C is 12. We're going to have a 12 squared is equal to, there's angle A, so a 10.5, which will be squared, plus there's B, so 6.3, which will be squared, minus 2 times 10.5 times 6.3 times the cosine of angle C. All right, what is the only thing I don't know in this problem? I know that, I know that, I know that. I don't know the measure of angle C. So that's what we're solving for. We're trying to find the measure of angle C. Here we go. 12 squared is 12 squared is 144. 10.5 squared, 39.69. 6.3 squared, I'm sorry, nope, scratch that. It's 110, there we go. 110.25 plus 39.69 minus 132.3, and then cosine of angle C. Okay, great. We're going to go ahead and let's add these numbers together, and then, yeah, let's add those numbers together. So we'll have 144 is equal to 149.94 minus 132.3 cosine of angle C. Okay, great. We'll subtract this to the other side. We wind up with negative 5.94 is equal to negative 132.3 times the cosine of angle C. We'll divide both sides by negative 132.3. They'll cancel on this side. All right, don't fat finger something on your calculator, and you wind up with the cosine of angle C is equal to a negative divided by a negative. Of course, it's going to come out to be a positive, and it's just this crazy long decimal. Yes, you have to keep all those decimal places. Do not round. We do not round until the end. When you're dealing with numbers this small, rounding will cause huge errors. If you do not keep all of these decimal places and you were to round this number, it will have a drastic effect on your final answer. Not just a little, a big effect, especially when we're dealing with numbers this small. Okay, so now this goes back to both the previous section in this chapter and all the way back to the previous chapter. We're trying to solve for the angle C. Well, in order to solve for the measure of angle C, I'm going to have to take the inverse cosine of this guy. So, the measure of angle C is equal to the inverse cosine of this whole guy. All right, don't fat finger something on your calculator, and I apologize, I'm squeezing, but so I don't have to move again. I wind up getting 87 degrees. 87 degrees, that's the measure of angle C. So right up here, 87 degrees. 87 degrees, the measure of angle C. You could then go on to find the measure of angle B and the measure of angle A. At this point, now that you know the measure of an angle, you could use the law of sines, right? I would do the sine of 87. Oh, that doesn't look like an 87. Let me fix it. I would do the sine of 87 over 12 is equal to, let's say, the sine of B over 6.3, and then you would solve for the measure of angle B. The law of sines will work. Once you know the measure of angle B, the triangle sum theorem will let you find the measure of angle A. All right, so that's the way the law of cosines works. And again, you certainly could remember all three formulas for the law of cosines if you want to, based on the diagram that you're given using the appropriate formula. Or if you need to, just remember this one. Just remember this one, and then simply just rearrange the diagram, rewrite the pieces of the triangle so that your information then fits this particular formula. Head on over to the next page of the notes. We'll do several more example problems using the law of cosines. I'll meet you guys there.